Hey, Art 2s and Art 3-4s. This is Miss Carpenter giving a shared lesson through my phone screen on the Basquiat at home portrait shading assignment. This is the one that I already did, and this is the blank template that I uploaded under the assignment. This is the one that you need to screenshot. You need to first have the app called Picsart, and we're going to X out of that and start over again. When you upload this app, it might show a little bit of your time and maybe your battery percentage. You want to crop that out using the tools setting and crop. And once you have that cropped out, you'll see some other settings at the bottom, and it should have one that says draw and looks like a little paintbrush. I do realize that on you guys' phone it does look a lot different depending on what type of phone you have. The app settings are a little bit different after having that Zoom class with my students and some of them sharing screenshots from their phone while they was doing the lesson or the assignment, that it was different. So depending on what you have, it might be worded a little bit different, but the icons should still be the same. So the first thing we're going to do is hit draw, and we're going to hit the little paintbrush again, and it's going to give us different types of tools. With my phone, it shows the tools in different rows, but with some other people's phones, it's all black and all the tools are in one big long row. But we're going to go to this tool that has this little fuzzy look, and you should be able to make it the size big and small. You can see how fuzzy it is, and then it gets a little bit sharper as it gets smaller. We want that tool to be about 80 px. Doesn't have to be perfectly on it. It's a little bit higher or lower is fine. So it's 79 right now. That's okay. And we're going to have it on the opacity 5%. And the opacity determines how dark or how light that tool effect is going to be. Okay? And we don't want it too dark or too light. So we're going to put it down to about 5%. We're trying to make it look like an actual pencil shading, a smooth pencil shading. And I actually want to be extra and just get it right on 80. Let's see if we can. And you don't want the size too big because you want to get in between smaller areas, and you can always change the size later on, but I like it at 80 px and 5 for that opacity. And we have a reference photo, so we're trying to get this picture to look like him, and I do not expect you guys to get to look exactly like Basquiat. Like, I love to tell you guys, I've been teaching for years, I've been doing this for years, so it will be a lot easier for me than for you. This is not a test grade, y'all. This is a data grade, so it's more like practice or a exercise. Y'all have done this before on paper, but it's a little bit different on your phone. So just take your time, do your best. Try to at least make it look nice and neat, and try to at least make it reference or look a little bit like him, okay? It's more so similar, not just like him. All right? I'm going to start with his forehead. I'm going to just change the picture where I can see him a little bit in it. And I'm going using these left to right strokes. And I'm going to go ahead and just form all around his face. It's a little bit different than what I did last time, but I think that might be a little bit easier for you guys if you do that. We're going to get all the main parts of his face, like his eyes, his nose, his mouth. We're going to do like a little circle around his nose to give him his nose a little bit more form. That helps form and give that illusion that his nose is kind of popping off the paper. We're going to go along his eyebrows. Fill in his forehead some more. We're going to get the little brow line or the little frown line that's forming along his forehead as well. We're going to zoom in on his eyes. Get like the top eyelid. It's okay if it's get a little bit inside the actual eye. That's fine. And the bottom eyelid. And that did get in his eye. And we're going to just keep going. We're not going to worry about that. The top eye and the bottom eye. And always get in between where the eyebrow touches the inner part of the nose. So it's usually a little bit darker there as well. Okay. I'm going to drag those lines like I kind of see it in the portrait. Give him a little bit of darkness under his eye as well. Let's kind of form his cheekbone some more. Almost like a little upside down curvy triangle. And we're going to drag that down or kind of darken it up some more along the side of his face. We're going to zoom in on his lips because his top lips is a little bit darker. And usually in portraits, your top lip is always going to be a little bit darker. And the bottom lip tends to stick out a little bit more, so it's hitting the light, or it's exposed to the light a little bit more, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. We're going to get in between where his lips and his nose touch, and a little bit more along the sides of his face. We're going to do like a little, instead of a circle, we'll say more like an oval shape for his chin, and define that some more. So from afar, you see a really good definition along his face. Now I'm kind of lightly touching this, y'all, not touching it too much, because we prefer it to be too light than to too dark. Once it's too dark, it's hard to go back lighter, but if it's a little too light, you can always come back and make it a little bit darker. Okay? Kind of darken the side of his face a little bit more. We're going to get his neck next and use this like a little shadow underneath his neck. Keep in mind, this does not look like the original drawing that I did or that I posted in the assignment page or direction attachment, which is fine, but it still looks like Basquiat. So every time you do it, most likely it's going to look a little bit different, and that's okay, as long as it still looks like him. Nothing's going to be left white, so I'm kind of defining that part of his collar of his shirt a little bit more. We're going to change the opacity up to like 27%. It could have been a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit darker. I kind of messed up a little bit, so let me go back some. You can't go back. Sometimes if you hit the back button too much, it won't let you go back anymore, so be careful with that. I'm going to get his jacket. We're on 7 minutes. I'm not trying to be any longer than 10 minutes, so we'll speed up a little bit. And get that side of his jacket. We're going to get inside of his hair, so I'm going to make the sides go all the way up so we can cover more ground. And just get enough to fill in those spots. We're going to clean it up later. We just want to kind of go through all that space. And we need to get his ears. I almost forgot to do that. I'm just taking my time. I'm going a lot slower when I go to around the edges of his face, because it's very important that we don't mess it up too much, so we don't have to do too much cleaning up. I'm going to make the size smaller this time. The opacity will raise up a little bit more. I just kind of tapped it a little bit higher. Get inside his dress. It does not have to be perfectly in line, just enough. Let's go back. I took too much of his ear off. Where we can at least get that outline or that shape, basic shape of his dress, okay? So we don't want it perfectly like his dress, just like a little illusion of his dress, more so. I'm just using the tip of my pointing finger and just kind of dragging lines towards the darker areas, filling in some parts like that. Zooming in and zooming out so I can go along the other spots. We'll zoom in a little bit closer. Okay. We're almost done. So once we're done with everything, we're going to go back and clean things up. The more neat it is, the better your grade. And in that rubric, it said to have at least 3 more different shades of value. Remember, the value are just different shades of the same color. So if we have black, we should have a light black, which is just gray. We should have the darkest black, which is just pitch black. And we might want to have an in-between color, which is a darker gray or whatever hue we want. I'm going to change the opacity back to 5%. And we're going to keep it at that 66 right now. And just do a little bit of shading by his ear. And a little bit of shading by his ear. And he looks a little funny this time. It doesn't look the same as my first one. I like my first one better. But that's okay. We're not trying to get it perfect, so we're not going to worry about all that. It's still pretty good for your first time. This is your daily grade, remember. Even if it's not this good, try to at least make it neat, clean up, get all the parts of his face, and that should still be okay. Do we want to do anything else? Let's see. For me, I'm going to touch up his face just a little bit more. Y'all know me. I like to make my work look nice. Y'all be saying, y'all, our teacher did this, and I want it to look a little decent. Gotta be perfect, but I might go down, put the opacity at like 1, see if we can get it at 1 or 2, 3, and kind of take away that shine and actually go over these lighter areas so it won't be too shiny. We don't want it too shiny. And then we're going to go inside his nose a little bit darker because those are basically 2 holes in his face. And it should be a little bit of shadow right there. Alright. And there we go. We're done. Not the best thing ever. If you're art 2, you can stop watching this video now for my art 4s. Remember, you guys have to customize it. So we're gonna go back and I'm gonna just hit. I kind of like that neon green. I used it earlier, and we're gonna go do some designs. This time I want to change it to these weird little triangles. I tried them out before and it looks kind of different. And I'm gonna do like this weird Saturn ring around his head. And let's change it up to a little bit more green, and we're going to do it again on that side. I'm trying not to cover all his face. I'm going to go for it a lot more and do like a weird ring around his hair. And one more time around his neck. And that's a little bit too blue for me. I want a little bit blue-green. Let's go back to there and do that. I know that's weird, y'all, but remember, we have to make it a little creative for you guys, so we want to do something and kind of change it up some. I actually don't like it, so I'm going to go back to there. Let's come back around to that orange and do one kind of on that side and do one kind of on that side, like that. And you guys are doing whatever you want. You're not copying this one, but making it a little different somehow. I'm going to try this drip thing just to see how it looks. Don't like it. Let's try something else. Maybe that's pretty to me. So maybe you do that neon green again. And do some little light fade in the background. Just being careful not to go too much over it where we won't be able to see anything. And it's kind of soft and it's real pretty against the black. I didn't mean to do that. Let's see if we can get that out the way. No. I apologize, y'all. I'm still learning the app myself. Didn't do that in my last video. Whatever the case, we are going to ignore my little mishap there. But y'all get the idea. You do want to add a little design or do something to kind of customize it or make it look interesting. Oh, there you go. I just had to tap that. I know I felt kind of old for that, y'all. It's okay. Don't judge me too hard. Teachers learn too. We are going to kind of do like a little light outline against his face. I want to add a little bit of that orange in there too. Just kind of bring that around. I know this looks kind of goofy, but you guys can make a better version. Y'all can put shades on them. If you want to use stickers, you can hit that photo, and you can either add another photo or maybe a sticker. And I really don't think I want a sticker, but let's see. Maybe let's just add this one since we're doing those rings. Since I'm doing those rings. Let's see if it loads. Keep in mind that can take a long time at times. I'm going to make that look a little bit bigger. And I want that to be like some little weird ring on him, and there you go. No, actually, let's go even farther. I'm gonna zoom in, and let's do a little dot in his eye, like so. And we're gonna raise the opacity down, or lower it. I'm sorry, and do a little tap. Tap. Yeah, that definitely looks weird, but anyway, there you go. You can always go farther, do a little bit more or less. You still want to be able to recognize his face and know that it's still him within all those extra designs or custom designs. Screenshot it because it will save as a video, and it's going to be kind of hard to upload to Google Classroom if you can upload videos. I don't even know myself, but it's a lot easier to screenshot it as a picture and a lot faster, and you're done.